Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Thomas Van Kampen once again, and I'm here to deliver unto you another one of my Let's Animate series. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of realized last second, well, not really last second, but still, I wasn't planning to make this today. I just decided to make it because I realized, hey, I haven't made one of these in a while. So, yeah, and this is the rare opportunity where I can actually put something out on a Sunday because I finally have the Sunday off, which I'm especially ecstatic about. So, last time, I was talking with my good buddy, BrokeAssGuidetoLife, and throughout those episodes, I was working on a Samurai Duel to put in my demo reel. For those of you unaware, that is finished now. I actually uploaded it to YouTube, and I'll put a link in the description and somewhere on the screen if you want to see that because you haven't yet. But yeah, I'm done that. It's part of what I have so far of my demo reel now, so I have moved on. What I'm working on now is a woman walking, in a traditional walk cycle, turning into a run cycle later on, and she's going to be just walking and running through a street and stuff like that. So this is just traditional demo reel stuff, really. A demo reel is supposed to showcase the best of your abilities, and one of the most basic things you're going to have to get across is that you're able to do both a walk and a run cycle. And it would be helpful if you can showcase your ability to do that for animals too, not just people. So yeah, and I decided to challenge myself for a little bit. I didn't just want to do these kind of generic walk cycles and run cycles. I also wanted to make it a woman, and the reason for that is because, to be quite honest with you, I am not that comfortable drawing women. It's one of the things that I have less experience drawing, and that's just because I wasn't comfortable with doing it for a while, and because one of the challenges of drawing the other gender, I think, is that if, let's say, you want to make them really pretty, how do you draw all the features and stuff like that without seeming perverted or provocative or anything like that? So, yeah, it was a bit of a challenge to me, to be honest with you, because, like, I remember trying to draw women before, and I was just like, oh man, how do I make her look like really pleasant and a little bit sexy without like going overboard? Like, how big should I draw the breasts and stuff like that? Because I like drawing a kind of realistic pretty where it's definitely like I don't know how to say this without sounding like a creep. It's definitely like sexy, but at the same time, it's not like overboard outrageous. It's not an impossible standard for real life women, you know what I mean? So the woman I've drawn here, she's kind of got an athletic build where she's a runner. So she's quite muscular. She's got muscular legs because she does running all the time. But she's still kind of but at the same time, she is a little bit on the butch side, but she does have like some more feminine features, I think. I'm just more comfortable with drawing muscular anatomy because, I spent most of my life drawing superheroes, and superheroes are the most muscular kind of art style you can find. And women are generally no exception to that rule. They are drawn typically a little more dainty. But yeah, if you look at drawings of Wonder Woman, she's an Amazon, so she's quite a feminine beefcake. I hope I don't come across as too much of an asshole. That's just the truth, and that's the idea behind animation. You do have to work with stereotypes a little bit just to get basic, commonly known ideas across. And maybe I have a woman fan who has a different opinion, but I think I'm doing a pretty respectable build for the woman I'm drawing here. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And another way I'm challenging myself is I'm going to be putting in a more sophisticated background. One of my weaknesses, I think, is that my backgrounds aren't that appealing to look at. In This Bird Flies Solo, all the buildings are like these basic bland brown rectangles with one door. Like, that's literally all of them are. If you were to try and navigate a city like that, how would you know which building is which? The only building with any clear distinctions, or buildings, I should say, are the ones in the very beginning. And that one building that the thief runs into the alleyway for, the ones with the brick walls and the graffiti on them and stuff like that, those are the only buildings with any real definition. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a background in Photoshop, because I have Photoshop now, and I've gotten some experience with it. Photoshop is actually what I use to make my profile picture. So I'm going to be making a kind of comic book style Photoshop. I think that, kind of a comic book style background, I meant to say. I think that'll be really interesting, and it'll be really complementary to what I have drawn so far. And that means I'm going to do some like heavy inking work. I'm going to be relying less on shell shading and more on articulating kind of darkness and stuff like that with kind of sketchy comic book lines. And I'm going to be doing that to the girl here too. I'm going to be giving her more pronounced inking. I'm going to give her some, you know how in comic books you can often see on bodies like the kind of dashed lines along the side? I'm going to be giving her some of that. I'm not going to try and overboard it, because that can just get really cluttered and really awkward looking really quick. Like that issue of Before Watchmen, the Night Owl one. I love that story, but the artwork is just, I'm going to be honest, I kind of hate the artwork in that. For anybody who's read Before Watchmen, you know what I'm talking about. The Night Owl story has this really weird art style that has so many lines, and like it just goes overboard with the dashing and stuff. So I'm going to try and avoid that. But yeah, I'm going to go for a more comic book kind of look to it, because I think that'll look really appealing. Sort of like the Super Smash Brothers Little Mac Punch-Out trailer, if anybody remembers that. I'll put a link in the description for that trailer too, so that you can get a better idea of what art style I'm going for. Yeah, so one thing I'm going to change off camera is the neck. This woman's neck is getting pretty preposterous. It's kind of stretching all over the place. The end of it doesn't really meet in a consistent spot. Sometimes it meets the ear, sometimes it meets behind the ear and stuff like that. So it's getting kind of inconsistent, and if I'm not mistaken, maybe it's just me seeing things, I think she gets bigger when she transfers into the run cycle. Maybe that's just me being delusional or something like that, but I don't know, it just kind of looks weird to me. So yeah, that's pretty much what I'm doing. It's just a woman run cycle, probably going to make a more sophisticated background to go along with it. One piece of news I want to address real quick in this episode is, I think this is really important. I think this might really impact the animation community as a whole. Starting March 26th, the Toonz software, that's the software used in a lot of Studio Ghibli movies like Princess Mononoke and Onward, and it's also been used for Futurama and stuff like that. It's becoming free and open source starting March 26th. So if you want to jump on the animation bandwagon, but you don't have much money to spend, you should look into that, because I think that's super amazing. The fact that this prominent industry software is going to be more accessible to more people. I think it'll encourage more people to give animation a try, and it'll also... This is just my hopes. I'm probably getting my hopes up. I'm probably blowing things way out of proportion. I'm hoping that what this will mean is that animation will get a more prominent identity on the internet, because as I've mentioned a couple of times in past episodes, I talked about it with BrokeAssGuidetoLife, and I also talked about it in my first episode. Animation on YouTube's kind of crippled right now, minutes watched model, blah, blah, blah. I think if more people get into animation and they start like showcasing it more, I think if it grows more of an identity, then it'll grow more prominent in the eyes of the major audience, and so maybe it'll get promoted more. Again, I don't know for sure if that'll happen. That's just wishful thinking on my part. But yeah, fingers crossed. It'll be a great opportunity for so much talent to showcase itself. And maybe a lot of people using this kind of encouragement. Maybe they'll get started in the same way I have, where they'll get a software, they'll look up some sort of animation tutorial series to learn the basics, they'll start making cartoons, and if they get really into it, maybe they'll want to start to delve into it professionally. Because that's one of the scariest things about animation is the costs and the time. A lot of people just don't think they can do it because they just don't have the funds. And so that's just kind of a sad thing. But with any luck, it'll showcase some real talent, some real creativity. And I'm excited for that. And I can't wait to see what people see. Maybe some of my subscribers will like to look into that. I'll probably post a link to an article that I got that from in the description for anybody who's more interested in that. So that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all I've got for this episode. So thank you guys so much for listening in. I'll jump forward ahead, like I said, like I've been saying a couple of times. I'll be changing the neck a little bit because it's looking a little weird right now. And don't forget to subscribe if you like listening to these sort of things. And I'll see all you guys in the next episode. Okay, see you later.